morning we're going to walk around Boys Town. Michael's going to tell us a little bit of the history of this place before it gets ploughed down. And this is Michael. Hi. So he's going to explain a little bit of the property, the buildings, what happened here, and some of the goings on of this place. And you can start with what happened out here.
Well, in front of you, that's where the cow paddock was, horse paddocks. They had the stables in front of you just here, along here. And behind you, to your left, over there was a big BMX track where all the bikes used to go, but it's all been pulled down. It was pretty high too.
Yep. We're going to walk down to where the admin building is now. That's the old gymnasium. So what sort of sports did you partake in the gymnasium?
Well, there's 2 tennis courts there in front of us. A lot has changed. The gym. On the other side of the gym to the right there, just next door to it, used to be a swimming pool. It got all filled in 2001, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like, I looked down there before, there's no hole there. It looks like it's all been filled up now. Alright, so we're heading down now what I think might be the old admin building.
That wasn't actually here when I was here. I left in 87. That's new to me.
Yep. Been pretty trash down there.
The first building's, that's an educational building centre.
Aha.
So that was not admin.
Right. So what year did you actually come into Boys Town?
I came here in early January of 85.
Yep, and why were you sent to Boys Town?
Missing a lot of school. My mother was an alcoholic. Those are the only 2 reasons.
Yep. And you're here for 2 years?
Straight, yeah.
Yep. So you're 14?
Yes.
Yep. So when you first came into this place, how were you treated?
Poorly. The only thing we had good looking forward to was the food.
Yep.
The first week that I arrived, I was made and forced to do hay baling. We missed out a lot of schooling here. We've done 10 to 11 weeks of schooling out of 1 year.
Wow.
So all this here is new to me. I've never seen it.
No, I'm not sure what year this was built either. And down here is where the church used to be, that's just been ploughed down 3 weeks ago. Can you give us a bit of enlightenment what went on in there?
We would have our, I don't know what you call it, you go to church on a Friday night and you do the church thing, and if you played up, they'd wait till everyone from the town had left Boys Town at Beaudesert, and they would deal with you accordingly in the chapel, in one of the rooms.
What sort of, if you don't mind me asking, what sort of things went on behind those closed doors?
You'd get a thumping, closed fist, a backhand, or maybe the strap. Yeah.
Yep. Shame. So this is what was the church. So this was bulldozed down 3 weeks ago. So we've only got 3 buildings left on this property now.
I know this road goes around and back up as well.
So we're going to do a walk around on the road that goes around the property and around the back of the gymnasium, which the gymnasium is back behind us at the moment. So we're going to keep going around down this way, which goes out to the front. And Mike's just going to talk us through of some more of the happenings that went on in Boys Town behind closed doors.
Yeah, well, if you tried running away, Brother Paul Smith had a knack for knowing where you are. He knew this place inside out. He'd grab a couple of the grade 10 boys and come looking for you, and sure enough, they'd find where you are and bring you back.
Yeah. And what did they do to you once they brought you back?
You would be taken into admin, which is to your left, right there. That was right here.
Yep.
And you'd be taken into the brothers' quarters, and they'd either pull down your pants, or you'd pull down your pants, or they would just hit you with a strap there and then. And then several times later, you'd be going back to your cottage.
Yep. And then once you got back to your cottage, what happened there with your cottage parents?
They weren't impressed, but they were understandable to say, hey, you know, you've copped it, you've got a belting, we're not going to act on it again. But,
right.
But some others, it was a different story.
Yep. So were your cottage parents actually caring towards you? Or did they partake in some of the goings on in here as well?
They would do some things as well. Cottage 6 parent, when I was here, used to look over the toilets while you were on the toilet.
Oh.
And the last time I went to the toilet there, I looked up and there he was. And he told me to hurry up, get out of the toilet, but how long was he there for?
Yep.
And cottage 7 parent, well, he'd pick us up like bowling balls with his middle finger, thinking it was funny, but it wasn't funny.
No.
Not to us.
So how many cottage parents did you have in each cottage, and how many boys were there in there with you?
There was a family to look after you, like husband and wife, and they may have had 2 or 3 kids of themselves.
Yep. And did they have boys and girls, or just boys?
Yeah, they had. What I know of is cottage 7 had girls. They used to work in administration for them. They were in their late 20s, I guess. And all cottage parents used to live in the back of the cottage.
Yep. So what cottage were you situated in?
This cottage was to your left. All along here was cottage 6.
Yep.
And where we just came back from was cottage 2.
Right. So you were in cottage 6?
I started up in 2.
Yep.
And then I got punched in the head with a fist by the cottage parent, and asked to be transferred. I got into 6, and then in 87 I ended up going to cottage 7.
Right. How old were you in 1987?
I was 17.
Right. And that was your last year here?
Yep.
Yep. So what age or how did you manage to get released? Were you released at 17 or back to your parents?
I was 17, yeah, I left. When you're 17, you're forced to leave. That's by regulations, I guess.
Right. So down here, you had your cottage to the left, cottage 6.
Yep.
What was down
Here.
this back section?
Okay, to your left there, after the fence, there used to be a big shed there that used to be full of hay bales.
Yep.
And the irrigation was a bit further down. There's a creek just down beyond there. And along here used to be sheds all the way up. Had a bike shed, food bank shed, metal workshop shed.
Yep.
And a chookery.
Right.
Where the chooks were.
Yep. So you were saying earlier that during the week no one was allowed in and out of Boys Town.
No, once the gates were closed, no one could come in from the public on a weekday. The only people that could come in here were like administrative people, government people, and that was about it.
The government people never picked up on what was going on?
Yeah, well, we tried telling them, but it's like, because we're juveniles, who cares? You know, you're here for a reason.
Yeah. So reading up a little bit on it, I did read that a lot of children that were here a good 60% of them were actually orphans.
Yep.
Which, you know, being treated, already losing your parents, and then being treated so atrociously here. It's just sad.
No, I came here with arms wide open.
Yep.
And because I missed out on a lot of schooling, they sent me here. And I had to work between 10 and 11 weeks out of 52.
Yep.
So
did you end up getting your graduation certificate?
No.
No.
I rang a detective that works in the Department of Queensland Education, and they got no recollection of me doing any high schooling, even though I've got paperwork saying I've done schooling.
Yep.
And that's just not me, that's a lot of us.
Yep. So we're coming up to the gymnasium now, and then Michael's saying all the classrooms off to the side. If you can give us a little bit of a...
Yeah, they were all from that palm tree there, all the way down to halfway to the big tree there. And then on the opposite side we had 2 classrooms, and along here we had about 4 new classrooms here. Admin for the parade and stuff was just over here, and gym's there.
So what was at the back of this gymnasium here?
2 tennis courts.
Right.
There used to be a fencing all along here, they've just taken that down.
Yep.
And a swimming pool over there to your left, where that, I think it's a chair.
Yeah, there's a chair over there being dumped.
But that's where the pool was.
So when you come through to the gymnasium, and what sort of sports activities did you partake in there?
Mainly basketball and volleyball.
Yep. And what were your teachers like in there, all teachers, all the people that took care of you?
We didn't have teachers in the gym. Not while I was here, they didn't go in the gym. Honestly, I can't remember, but I don't know, except for Mr. O'Reilly, who was the headmaster. And he was very, very religious. And he had one mean temper.
Right. So what sort of things went on in here?
If you played up, Luke O'Reilly would take you in his office and open his drawer, his tin drawer, pull out a strap, and you'd get one.
Right.
For fighting, for anything, calling someone a name.
Yep. And where did... Oh. So that was a lot of the physical abuse. What about the other side of the abuse? Was that while you were in your cottages, or in the church, in the gymnasium? Where did that all start?
Some of it's at Outbound. It's a different property to this one.
Yep.
Where we used to go out camping and spending time overnight time on a weekend. Some things happened out there.
Yeah. And you said in one of our conversations that you had tried to run away a few times. How old were you?
I was 15.
Yep.
15, 15.
How long had you been here?
I was here for about 6 months.
Yep.
And I ended up stealing a car. I went to Ross Downey, and then I came all the way back with another fella to be caught. I came past Boys Town, went to Arnala. Car got stuck, and the police were called, and sure enough, brother Kieran picked us up and took us to Arnala police station, where I was brought back by brother Kieran and brother Raymond.
Yep.
And once again, taken in the office and got the living hell flogged out of us by a leather strap.
Right. That was the strap.
Yep.
Yep. How many times did you try and run away?
4.
Yep.
4. Yeah.
Right up through to the end?
No.
Or in the
Right
first
in
stages?
The stages. Before I hit cottage 7, I ran away 3 times. And at cottage 7, I ran away once.
Right.
But you couldn't get far.
No. Did you have any idea where you were going to run to?
That was the problem. I don't think anyone knew where we were going to go.
It was just to get away.
Just to get away from Boys Town.
Yep.
The second time I actually had run away, we went down to Beaudesert police station to tell them, hey, you know, this is what's happened. And they rang up brother Paul Smith and came down and got us.
Right, so they didn't even listen.
No, they didn't believe us at all.
Yeah. This is the old tennis courts. Basketball courts? Is that tennis courts or basketball courts here?
Sorry.
Tennis courts or basketball courts in here?
Tennis.
It was tennis.
Yes.
Radio. Yep. So was there, what was all here?
Good question. I can't remember. I don't
No.
think there was nothing there.
No.
There
Okay.
used to be a little, where the big tree is, there used to be a house behind it. Just a little house where you would go to before leaving Boys Town to help you rectify living on the outside.
Right.
And you'd be there for about a week, like washing your own clothes, cooking your own food, just to prepare you, but I think we needed a bit more than that.
Yeah. When you went into that house for the last week, did they treat you properly, at least in there?
Yes.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah.
This is a bit different. Never came in this way before.
No. So this is the gymnasium, so that's...
For the years that I was here, I haven't even been back here.
Yeah. So this is now inside the gymnasium. So what, up on the stage up in there?
We would sing for Parents' Day, like the parents would come up once a year and sit out in the gym, and we'd be up there singing notes and stuff like that for the day.
Yep.
Over that first room there used to be the gym.
Yep.
Second room was mats, basketballs and stuff like that. The third room used to be making pizzas. We'd get taught actually from school from cooking pizzas, baking and stuff like that.
Yep.
And the last two, I don't know what they are. They were always closed.
Right. And did anything happen in here, or this was a fairly safe place for you boys to go to?
This was the safe room.
Yeah.
You could come in here to get away. Like on the weekends, if you didn't go home on weekends, you'd come in here and away from the cottage parents to say, I'm not doing any work today, I'm sneaking in here.
Yep.
And come in here and play basketball.
Yep. So with what you explained earlier with your mum, did you ever get an opportunity to go back home, or you were taken away from your mum?
I had the opportunity to go back home. I didn't have to on weekends, but I did.
Yep.
It took me 6 weeks before I was allowed to go back and see Mum.
Yep. So did your mum ever get an opportunity to come up and see you up here?
Once.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add on to the video? Would you like to explain anything else?
No, not really. Just looking at the showers there, I can't get over that.
Yeah.
Back in Cottage 7, we had no gas whatsoever for a while. We were made to go into the showers and have showers in there with no doors, no nothing on them. I don't know if there's doors on them now. So, go and have a quick look.
I'll go through and have a...
Yeah, my favourite spot is the swimming pool.
Yep.
Right there.
So this is where the swimming pool was outside, where they look like they've filled it all in now.
Yeah, where you see the little hump.
Yeah. So what was the first thing you did when you left Boys Town at 17?
I tried going home. It didn't work. Mum didn't want me back. I then didn't say what happened in Boys Town. I didn't really say anything to her. And I ended up living on the street for a while.
Yep.
Got into some bad drugs and then I met a girl and settled down a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, they all go down a whole lot. But there was one here, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
And we used to stand here at the shower and... No, they're still here. You see that?
Yeah.
Didn't have...
But no privacy at all.
No. And this is what it was like in every cottage.
Right.
No doors, no nothing. You'd have the director patting you on the backside, walking in and just standing there like the way I am, just looking at you and talking to you. And you haven't even reached puberty for some of these guys.
Yeah.
But for the director to stand there and do that, it was bad feeling, awful feeling.
And once you get to the age of 16, 17, when you're reaching your manhood, or when you reach manhood, that is just degrading. What was in this end? Oh, that's toilets in there.
They were towards us.
Yep. So this is it for Boys Town now. It's going to be ploughed down and demolished. I'm not sure what's going to happen to the property now.
I don't know what was down here actually. I never could.
No. It looks like there might have been more cubes. Oh, there's nothing in the wall.
This used to be the girls, and this used to be the boys. We would have competitions against other schools and stuff like that, but never against any other girls or anything like that.
Yep.
And yeah, the town mayor came in here and done some basketball at times, but we were only allowed to sit there and watch.
Yep. So you couldn't partake in the inter-school sports, really?
No, none of that. I think the only one we did was we played football against one school. I can't even remember what that is.
Yep. So how do you feel coming and visiting this place again before it gets knocked down? What are your feelings?
Bit of relief.
Yep.
Like it was made for all the good intentions, but people shouldn't have been the ones working here.
Hopefully it gives you a little bit of I guess, I don't know if closure is the right word, but a bit of closure, knowing that it is going to be knocked down and it's gone, it'll be gone. And hopefully this will help bring a bit of enlightenment and awareness to what happened and went on in this place.
Yeah.
A lot of people still under the false pretenses of what actually went on here. Thanks so much for coming in today, and thank you for talking to us. And we will keep an eye out for any other movements and goings on down in here as well.